I actually was gonna go out, just chill with Jared, Juice World, obviously, for people.
And how did you start
understand.
talking to him?
Well, that was, like I said, I would go chill, do this, do that, whatever I wanted. And he was like, oh, well, I'm in Rhode Island. And I'm like, well, fuck it. I have family out that way.
And this is like within the first couple months of him even having like music videos out, right? Like he's still very early,
yeah.
right?
See, I didn't know. At that point, I was like country music. Like I
Really?
listened to everything. Like, you know, I listened to rap, R&B my entire life. Like that's something that's never left. But I've definitely, when it comes down to just listening to a bunch of different genres, I've always done that. I've always loved music. So I remember when my country friend from Alabama was the one who showed me Jared. And I remember him playing me 2 songs, and then we went back to this house, and it was like a couple of us there, and they were like, yeah, no, listen to Lucid Dreams. I remember sitting there in this guy's house, like, watching this video, and I'm like, whoever the fuck this kid, like, I couldn't even make out his face or who he was, right? I was like, I don't know who the fuck this kid is, but, because I don't know what version I was watching of this shit, because it was so new. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, this is, if I made music, like, if I knew how, like, if I didn't sound like Fran Dresser, like, this is what I would do. Like, I would make music in this sense. Like, you're mixing a bunch of genres together and being so good at it, and me at that point not even knowing his talent yet, just like really hearing what you put together, not knowing if you sat down with writers, if you did this, if you did that, what you did in your process of recording, which doesn't matter what you did to make your art, because everyone makes art differently, but Jared's way of making art, as you have seen, it's profitable. It's like he's a prophet with that shit. Like, that shit's not even fair.
Right.
It's like us breathing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that
like,
collectively everybody who ever was around him in the studio pretty much agreed he was the best that they ever saw in the studio.
When it comes down to Jared in the studio, it's like putting a water. It's like putting fish in water. Like, he's in his element,
right,
to the point that he's just breathing, and it's amazing us.
But okay, how do we get from you seeing his music video to actually being around him and meeting him?
So I saw his music video, and I was like, I'm going to play this shit. I don't care what studio I'm in, who I'm around. Like, I'm playing this shit. I was working at the club. I made them play, like, this. I was like, this shit is so fire. Like, you know, this is going to be huge. And then I remember messaging him, and I had messaged him, and I was like, hey, I don't know, because when I did, he had, like, barely any... He had, like, I wouldn't let anyone add. I didn't like social media. You know what I mean? So I remember being on his social media. I'm like, you have no followers. Like, for people that I would normally, like, be like, is this your song? I thought it was, like, a fan page. But it was actually, he was just that new that, like, no one knew him yet. And I'm like, I remember being like, I don't know if this is your, like, real page, but, like, whoever the fuck this Juice WRLD person is fucking fire. Like, this music is, like, keep it up. Like, don't fucking stop. This shit's so good. And I played it everywhere, and then it was, like, 3 months later, everyone was like, yeah, this shit's fire. And, like, on the radio, it's everywhere. And then, but in that process, obviously, we kept up and just would talk to each other here and there. And then as time went on, he would go ahead and talk to me more about what he was doing when it came down. Like, he's like, I'm upset. And I'm like, okay, what's up? You know what I mean?
You're not used to guys
like,
hitting you with shit like that?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm like, bro, what do you mean? And then he's like, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, bro, you're just having a panic attack. Like, sit down. Like, he's like, what do you mean a panic attack? Like, no one knew around him what he was going through. And I'm like, man, bro, you just got to lay down. Like, you got to just, you know,
right,
put your hands in some, like, cold water with ice, like, lay down. Like, you know, I mean, just give him, like, tips. I have anxiety. I have things like that. Like, a lot of when it comes down to that mental health. But I'm very aware of it. So I make sure that I have things that I would need for that. Or if I'm, like, going to pass out, I'm going to go ahead and I'm like, Adam, get me this or get me that. You know what I mean? I'll, like, freak out and, like, tell you what I need. And because I know. Where Jared had no idea. And the people around, not all the people around him, but the people that were around him daily that you would think that was doing that for him or saying that, like, you know, his friend or girl, whatever it is, someone should be there to be like, hey, this is cool. Like, this is what you should do if you're having a panic attack, not no, that's not real, or feel worse about yourself, or do it. Like, no,
Right.
no. So I ended up actually being just cool with him, super close with him. And we end up, like, he was like, hey, I'm by, da-da-da-da. I know you're from Jersey. I'm like, fine, cool. My family's out that way anyway. I'll come see you. Dip, go see them, just smoke, chill, you know what I mean? And then fly home. No
Right.
big deal. It's over a weekend.
Because, okay, from my perspective, when he came through to the No Jumper office and did the exposed interview, which was the first piece of content that we ever did with him, he had a girlfriend before you, and that's who he was with at that time.
Yeah, it wasn't me. Yeah,
Right.
No, never.
But then pretty soon after, that didn't work out. And then next time I saw him, he was with you. And that just kind of surprised me a little bit. But
it surprised everyone.
But when I talked to him, one thing that always stood out to him was I just remember him telling me he just really didn't really seem comfortable being single. Like he
oh
would,
my God, no.
He would talk
Jared
to me about
he could not be single if his life depended on it.
Like his friends basically telling him like, bro, you should do some thought shit. Like you should fuck these groupies, whatever. And he even like told me that like when he kind of tried that, it really just left him not feeling good.
Because so he's like, his mind works so fast. He's already thinking about 80 different things. So everyone's like, all right, yeah, let's fuck this thought, this, that. He's like, well, I want to be high. I'm chilling. I'm going to drink. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I can't be comfortable being like that, and I don't trust these bitches. I don't even know this bitch's middle name, this last name. Like,
right.
She could take my chain, she could take my money, she could call her people up here, Like, he's from Chicago. He's not stupid.
That's very, very wise,
so,
and that's something that no rappers are normally thinking about when they first get in the game.
He's smart. He's not, and then when I came, he's very smart with that shit. It's like, he already knew, and that's why he always had someone with him. Now, then he realized, okay, I could have people with me who I choose, not who I'm like supposed, like, because they're here, I have to. No, this is my show. I'm Juice WRLD. This is my world, and that's what I'm like. This is do what's the best for you. What makes you comfortable when it comes down to this or that or who or you know what I mean. And he's like, no, yeah, you're right. This like my family, like my this, my that, like, and yeah, I don't like to be single. Now I remember finding out his real age when like we were already dating.
Okay.
And
because he was what, like 18?
He was 19 and I was 25.
Okay.
And again, like I said, I went to go smoke and chill with him and dip like friend, like how I'm here, smoke, did an interview, dap up, leave. You know what I'm saying? Like chilling. Jared literally he kidnapped me. Is the only way we could say it. It's like a joke that we would say, but it happened. I don't own anything from my house except for my dogs.
Like he wasn't trying to have you leave. He was just like, I want your presence.
No, he did not let me leave.
Right.
Like I couldn't go get underwear from my old house. I didn't know. He bought me brand new everything. I didn't leave. Because then we were on a next tour. I had to go to Tokyo with him, or he wasn't going to go and do the tour in Tokyo.
You had a passport?
He actually, for my passport, it was already on the way because I was supposed to go on a girls' trip. And he had someone call Canada, and then I had to call Canada and I'm talking to Canada. Like, I don't know. Like,
just anyone, just the entire
No, I'm talking to the country. I'm talking
to Canada.
When
right
I
now.
remember crying about it, being like, Jared, is this real? And like, I was dead ass on the thing, like with Canadian whoever support blah 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 for getting my passport because he was like, she's gonna get her passport tomorrow at 12. She has to be from 11 to 12. It was like overnighted. She has to have it then. She has to get a new license. So I had to go to the DMV at 8 a.m. get my license, wait for my thing in the mail, and then get onto my flight to where it crossed over to was in Canada. So it crossed over into Canada, and then from there we have to go to Tokyo. And he like made all this happen. You could ask Peter. Peter literally, like, I think I have a video of all of us. Like, I'm on the phone. That's the thing is, he would call me 24/7. It would be 4 a.m. here, regular time there. I remember he was with Cole. Like, they're doing a bunch of videos, and I would have to be on the phone with him. Like, there's a video of him doing like not ski lining. What's the word? Zip lining. And I'm on the phone with him while he's doing it. Like he like. like Pete's like, we need her out here. She needs to be out here. If she's not out here, he's not. And he wasn't. He like was not about. He was like, I'm canceling the tour, doing this and doing. I'm like, why? I'm right here. I can help you through it. What do you need? Like, what do you want to do? Like,
that was his way of letting you know he really liked you. Was basically like,
pretty
I'm
much
not doing anything unless you come with me.
Literally, that was it. And then I was like, okay, well, I gotta go. Found someone to watch my dogs, and then put them in training because they're like emotional support dogs, canine dogs, and then my one dog's a hunting dog. So they've gone through a lot of training. So they had 2 months of training for the canine stuff, and during that time is when I had gone and did the Nicki Minaj tour with him. So and then I came back from that, brought me my dogs to LA, and it's the only thing I own from my past life.
Wow.